There we go.
Hi.
Angel, what's up? How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. Good morning. Thank you
Good,
for
good evening.
being so. Thank you for being so patient.
Of course.
I wish my background was as festive as yours. I love it.
Yeah, I figured I'd try something new. Try to do like holiday themed backgrounds.
I'm like, I got nothing. I'm in like a hotel room.
I
So
think
yeah, this is home right now. But meanwhile, you're giving me a taste of the holidays, so I appreciate it.
yeah, as you know, I'm Angel. um, I started watching Verticals in 2023.
You're one of the first. You're one of the
Yes,
first then.
I've
Um,
seen over 2,500 of them.
but who's counting, right?
Who's counting? I stopped counting because I was like, "This, no, I'm tired."
Well, I'm glad that you found something that you can, use in your everyday life and de-stress a little bit. I know everyone uses verticals for a bunch of different reasons. I'm sure there's a good reason why you're tuned in and locked in, and now you're part of the community. You're a real one. You're an OG. Um, I know of you, and it's been probably such a crazy experience to see how they've developed over the years.
It really has. Found Verticals like right after I left my abusive ex-husband, so it was my escape at the time, and now I'm healed and past that, so now it's just fun.
Good. I'm
It's a
glad
hobby
that
now.
as it should be. I'm glad that you were able to take verticals, use them as a tool, and I can tell again just by your smile and the positive background of just the festive holidays that you're shining just as bright as you seem to be. So I'm really glad to see you go come full circle and really now are enjoying verticals for more of you and not
Hmm.
just the emotional impact that some of your memories have probably had a toll on you. Not trying to make assumptions, but
No, you're
um
fine.
playing the abusive husband in verticals, I can only imagine. So shout out to you.
So your first one was also Eric's first one, which was also my first vertical.
mm, mm. What a crazy world. What a crazy timeline. Yeah, so my first one was back in, as you said it yourself, when you started watching 2023. It's always will be my first. No one can take that away from me, and likewise, no one can take that one away from you. And that's kind of when Verticals was still in its early phase. There was still a lot of growth to be had. There's a lot of things that I think that Verticals made now. A lot of things would probably be a little different. But at the same time, like, I'm so glad that it came out when it did, and I'm glad that um, the the people watching really supported Verticals and kind of took it to the next level. And of course, everyone knows that Eric and I are like this, and it really, how lucky am I to have worked on that and be able to find one of my best friends that I was talking to him earlier today. So it's just kind of great that it's given me a sense of community and a best friend out of a time in my life where I felt a little lost and I had to kind of look inward and really figure out my own goals in life aspirations.
Hmm. Uh, I don't really need to ask how you got that because you've already told me. What do you
Well,
think?
it's fun. Yeah.
Oh, no, continue.
No, it's funny because I really thought that was kind of like the pinnacle of kind of like a crossroad in my own life where I didn't know I was going to continue down acting. I kind of had acted a little bit before COVID, and then COVID hit, and I went a couple years of not really doing too much. A project here and a project there, no verticals really. Um, some like commercially stuff. I don't like using the word model for me because it's not necessarily like there's so many better models out there, but it's something.
Yeah.
Trying to stay humble in this in this world, but yeah. So it kind of was like an interesting moment where that's kind of when I became an EMT, and I started my ambulance driving, and I just gotten laid off from a job that I absolutely loved, and it wasn't because of anything bad. It just COVID really changed how the company functioned, and our team was starting to struggle a little bit inward, and so it was a time where I didn't know what I was going to do next. And so verticals really helped me not only find and renew my passion for acting, but kind of take it to the next level where I'm still doing it. And I'm grateful for it.
Well, that's good. See, it helped you in ways
It
that
did.
it had helped me.
It did. It changed my life completely. It really has. I've never actually met Jackson before, but I heard great things about him. He is such a pinnacle to this community. So shout out to him, and I just want to meet the guy.
Yeah.
Him and Cayman are two actors that I really just want to meet and pick their brains, and then Dan Yangma. Shout out to Dan,
Love Dan.
the king of Australia, as I like to call him. No offense to all the other powerhouse male actors from Australia, but he's a king in my eyes. So got to pick up his crown when I can. He's great. He's great. So those are a couple of the guys I'd really love to just pick their brains. Share a meal, grab a coffee or something, and just kind of get to know them a little bit more.
I feel like you guys are doing this on your own free will. So for me to be able to be flexible and, be willing to and understanding to reschedule or push it or wake up and do an interview at 9 a.m. that I never do. I feel like that's the best I can do because you guys are doing this on your own free will.
It's not the best you can do. You've done more than it's been. You're going above and beyond the best you can do. It's being and I know we're live, so I don't mean to ramble. I'm not trying to steal your thunder, but just to kind of go off of that little story, it's like there are so many things in my life where I am just trying to grab onto something and hold on to it as the world is just speeding by me. Things are moving so quick, and I've missed a lot of big moments in my life this year. For example, and I wouldn't take away from it. I turned 30 on a vertical set. That's a pretty big point of your life, is a whole decade, and especially from your 20s to your 30s. It's not a little jump. There's a big difference, and there's some context to it. My mom's now asking me, hey, find a girl yet? Hey, when am I gonna have grandkids? When are we gonna have these vertical little shits that we call them? When are you gonna figure your life out a little bit more? And she's proud of me, and she loves what I'm doing. But those are the questions that inevitably arise, especially from your grandparents, who are back in my day, I was married at age 21. You're 9 years behind. So it's been tough, but shout out to How to Dump a Hockey Star, which also changed my life. Shout out Real Short. Shout out to Haley, Brooke, and Josh, who really made that as magical a project. It's my most popular, and so I wouldn't have it any other way. They brought a cake for me. They sung Happy Birthday. We went karaokeing. So they really went the distance to make me feel special that day. And shout out to the crew. Shout out to Meg and everyone that was on that. Who've just and Seth, the director, and all the producers that really just kind of came there for me, and Javier. There's so many people I can keep naming. You guys know who you are. But really, it's hard. So I can, long story short, just relate to him. But it's the life that we chose, and a lot of us wouldn't have it any other way.
Exactly. So how have you seen the industry change since you first started to now?
I'd say as of more recent, I'd say in the past like 2 or 3 months, it's really, really starting to change. I'd say even more so um, than previous years. And I like to call it like phases, kind of like Marvel Universe over here, like phase one, phase two, phase three. And I think we're about to enter the next phase, if not already. There are a ton of new productions that are now in the mix. This was the year that a lot of actors really started aggressively flying to other countries and developing their vertical scene. It was definitely happening in the past, but this year it's gone from here to here. It's another level, and that also means a lot of new actors have entered the fold. And so more recently, things have gotten a lot more competitive, a lot more. You're gonna see a lot more newer faces, which is great for the industry, and that just means everyone has to rise to the occasion while you're auditioning it and whatnot. And it's healthy because it shows that there's a lot of chances and opportunities for people as more productions hop on and more actors join. You just got to make sure as you're in the game, as I'm in the game, that you keep on performing and you keep on trying to be your best self. So that's something that's clear as day. But at the same time, there's still the old vertical elements that really kind of made me feel at home and develop this community. All my This is like, I think, a crazy stat, is that I don't think, and pardon me for anyone, guys, who I've worked with. I don't think there's anyone that's retired from the game I've led with it or I've been a support for or anything like that. I think we're all still doing it. So there is that aspect of old meets new. I'm still meeting a ton of new actors, but for the most part, I'm fairly certain on my in my roster, everyone's still doing it, which is really, really cool. It's good to see that everyone's still in the game and having a good time. So right now, it's really an interesting point for verticals, and I'm looking forward to see where it goes.
Okay. Let's see. Let's take a quick look. Or at least who I can tell from pictures. Yeah, they're still in. No, Noah's, of course, still in.
Noah, Harper, Eric, uh,
Jake.
Alexander Watts, Mariah Boones, Brian Moss, Marie, Candace, Haley's killing it right now. I'm no joke. Jeff, my boy. There's so many. I really am trying. I've thought about the other day being like, oh yeah, no one's retired. Everyone's still doing it. Heck yeah, it's awesome. It's awesome. So shout out to everyone for keeping the grind going, and we're all still really good friends. So yeah.
What is the hardest scene or character that you had to do?
Mm. Hardest but most rewarding. Easy. I got to add that just because it really is important. Was the Cursed Alpha, and it was the most rewarding for me too. It was the hardest because it was January, is around 1 month from now. It was freezing on set. I had a lot of monologues, and I really had to try and rise to the occasion because Real Short was really believing in me on this one, and I did not want to let them down. And it was there was a lot of stunts, and it was one of those ones where I was really hoping that it was going to be a success. There's this big, infamous shower scene, famous, infamous. Even my mom saw it, so that's when it became infamous. But it kind of changed the course of where I was going on verticals. It really propped me up to make my next several ones kind of go a lot more, be bigger, and we're pretty huge, and that's my second most popular one of all time. So that's why it's so rewarding. At the time, it was great.
Mm.
Mariah Bars, she's fantastic. She's such a good actor. And the crew and gay cast were great. Shout out to the producers, for that, and the director. They all were so patient, and we got the job done. But that had to be that one, because I remember I had to like look up like, and I talked about this on another segment with Megan. That I was like, I had to look up like how to transform into a werewolf properly. And my neighbors are knocking on my door, being like, "Hey, man, like just checking on you. Like we heard some like weird shit," for, for lack of a better term. So yeah, it was one of those ones where. And I'm just coming off of the holidays, so I haven't, I took like a month off from acting and just trying to see the family again. So getting back into it and get the juices flowing. But in the end, like it was fantastic, and shout out to everyone. That role was great.
Okay. What has been the most embarrassing scene for you to shoot?
Mm, mm. At first, it was the shower one, and then a new one came up, and that was my second project ever in China. Um, Revenge Queen's Kickback. Awesome storyline. Highly recommend to check it out. It's kind of like John Tucker Must Die, if you know that movie, mixed into like the vertical scene, where I'm like the protagonist, but you're rooting against him the entire time. So the antagonist. And this scene's brutal. So I am cheating relentlessly on my wife with a girl that kind of I fancy, as well as my assistant. There's a lot of cheating involved. And so I get invited to go back to this girl I really, really like's apartment, actually hotel. And she is colluding with my wife to set me up. And so when I get into the hotel, she's trying to be all sexy, right? She's like, "Oh, I can't wait to just take off all your clothes. I have a surprise for you in the bedroom. Go check it out." And I'm like my character's like just drooling at the mouth, like, "Oh, I can't wait. It's gonna be a great night." And I go around the corner and I just see chains and whips and like leather straps and this pink, really tiny piece of underwear. We'll call it a piece. It was like tiny. And she's like, "Put it on." And I'm like, You're into that?" And she goes, "Oh, what, you don't want me that badly?" I'm like, my character's just so desperate. He's like, "Oh, I think what are you talking about? Like, give me 5." And so I go and I don't even know how to put this stuff on. Like, I need the wardrobe to like help me get fastened into this like horse harness type thing. And it's like, again, I'm brand new to China. This is all new to me, and like I'm like really kind of trying to impress everyone, but also like it's a little embarrassing. Yeah, kind of like you're putting yourself out there. And so the scene continues where I come out and I emerge wearing this questionable outfit. And that's when the director's like, "All right, we're gonna improv, like do stuff that like, would make sense wearing this, like as I'm apparently being like recorded." They go and like call the news team to kind of like go and knock on the door, and like I would open wearing all this stuff, and like also like get clips of like me doing these really suggestively embarrassing things, like for example like barking like a dog and bending over and getting slapped like with this like little tassel thing. So a lot of these BDSM roles, it's the guy who's kind of dominating. But for this one, it was like the first time where I, for lack of a better word, am the submissive, and I and you get to see kind of a comedic bit of it. So it was a lot of fun. I learned a lot about myself, and everyone was super supportive. And at the end of the day, a lot of laughs came out of it, and I think I became a lot more comfortable just in the limelight of it all. And then shout out to all the my female co-stars who made me feel really great. And likewise, it just lets me know of kind of me getting put into the the girls' shoes on some of these ones where things are suggestive and whatnot. And it's just nice to have a better understanding of what is going on and trying to accommodate. Obviously, everyone, I can't relate fully, but at least it helps me put things in perspective.
Mm-hmm. Okay. That was interesting to hear about. I love that.
Yeah. If you're bored, it's a good one. You'll get to see me really.
Oh no, I've
really...
seen it. Just by hearing your perspective of
it. Yeah, so you get to hear my kind of inner monologue. But yeah, it was something.
I've seen 2,500 of them. It's pretty safe to say I've seen most of them.
You're right. Well, thank you for supporting me.
Of course. Well, I think you were one of the first. You weren't the absolute first, but I think you were like one of the first 10 that I did for weekend watch list.
Yeah, you were. I really, again, I've known who you were for a very long time, so glad we made this work.
Yeah, you were number 6.
Let's go, top 10.
Yes. So, you've been in the game. You've worked with a lot of people. Who haven't you worked with that you want to work with, female and male?
Well, we already talked with you about the big 3 right now that are trending in my head for lead men, and that's Cayman, that's Dan, and that's Jackson. Add Seth Eden in there. I've heard great things. Add Lucas. Add a couple other guys. Luke, not Lucas. I've already worked with him. And shout out to Lucas Silva. What a dog. Honestly, I'd love to work with him again. But yeah, so those are the guys. If I miss one, it's just because I'm not thinking properly. And then girls, it's been so frustrating because I've been trying to work with Kira for a minute. I like barely was on set with her for the first one ever, so I don't even count like the one OG one with me and Eric. Like barely saw each other. We actually reintroduced each other and be like, wait, we're on the same set. And so Kira is up there. She's great. She's fantastic. Another one is Kirby. This girl is blown up. Shout out to her. She's doing such great things. Ashley Grant, met her so many times outside of verticals, but still not in one. So those are 3 girls right now that I would love to work with. Through doing 3 and 3. There's so many other people that are on this list right now. But those have been like the longest standing ones that I'm like really good friends with, who I just haven't had the chance. And Kirby I've never met before, so honestly, like I'm hoping we'd be really good friends. But yeah, for the most part, those 3 right now are like top of the list just because I've known who they are or have known them for so long.
I saw that you read Sex and No.
Oh, how many times is the question?
Okay, but do you have like the jewelry yet?
It's always sold out, and to be honest, it's kind of hard to get in China right now. Otherwise, I would be rocking it. You got to support the boys. But no, otherwise, I managed to bring that book all the way with me to Europe. Trying to plug it in whenever I can. He's been someone that's been so supportive of me and everything I do that it'd be a travesty if I don't meet him. With the same energy.
Well, because there's a poem in the book, and it's they're not with you. They're not gone. They're always with you. And that essentially, he's heard this story before. I lost my mom last December, 3 days before Christmas.
I'm so sorry. Jeez.
And it was like really hard. And I have been following Eric since 2019, so before he started doing verticals. And
Be vertical, Eric, for me. I know this is serious.
No, you're fine. That poem had like come across because I was like, I don't know. I was lost. It was my mom. She was everything. And then that poem had like popped across. He'd like post it to his story or something. And it kind of got me thinking.
Yeah.
And so
Sorry.
now I'm on Backstage and Actors Access and taking my shot.
You follow your heart. There's no reason why like you should just sit in the sidelines for something that you believe in.
Mm.
And Eric's work's so great because it's complex and simple at the same time. And it sometimes a sentence is so simple that you can unpack it and realize the true, there's many layers to it than you wouldn't otherwise suspect. And there's a lot of times where, I'm running my marathon and something that Eric said to me that um, I'm not quitting. I'm not going anywhere. You're stronger than you think you are, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, you know, so those are the moments in your life that, you know, take anything that can lift you up and make you the person that you deserve to be is a motto that should be lived by every day.
Oh, you had mentioned that you were trying to get into LAFD. How has China affected that? Like, how has living in China affected that?
Well, it's been tough. It's a great question. I've gotten it a lot more recently because I think more and more people are figuring out that was kind of the long-term goal for me. Again, verticals kind of saved me. Right during the time of the fires, LAFD suspended their newest recent hires. I just passed my background check, which took around 3 to 4 months of vigorous questioning, FBI fingerprinting, knocking on my door, going to neighbors' doors, polygraph tests, talking to ex-girlfriends and friends. And it was very rigorous. It was a time in my life where I was so thankful for verticals because I could at least concentrate on lines and meeting people that I wasn't doing too well mentally because this was the dream. And if you fail this part, it's not like you can just go and do another. It's not like a test where you just go and study harder. They're studying you.
Mm-hmm.
And so it was a really hard time for me. And luckily I passed. And I received my conditional job offer, which all I had to do left was the medicals. I just had to go and get a drug test, full body scan, pretty much go over any broken bones and things that you might have. Meanwhile, I'm on my like 13th marathon right now, and I'm like, yo, you guys want me? I promise you want me. It's like I'm not trying to be. It's like I promise I have services that I can help. Like I like to think I'm a workhorse in that regard. It's like the only thing I like gas myself up on. Like I'm not gonna quit. I'm not gonna quit. I got LASIK eye surgery. I went through the works. It's the one thing I believed in was just trying to make a community better than what it is currently. And when the fires hit, they froze all funding. They fired the active chief, Kristen Crowley, and they made an interim chief, and hiring became pretty tricky. And I was really lost because I just went through that rigorous process I just explained. And shout out, and that's also why, to be honest, it was a really hard time for me in the Cursed Alpha because I just had heard the news, and it was really, really hard. I didn't really go into all that, but it was really hard for me to get through it because that was my dream just evaporating in front of my eyes for a little bit. And it wasn't until after How to Dump a Hockey Star, both were back to back, and those it really did save me. It's crazy that those two were back to back and they were my highest back to back verticals ever. It's kind of poetry in motion where I was like, I I need something else. I need something else to distract myself. And so this opportunity, shout out to Fan, a really, really big name in the vertical industry on the production side, Milky Wave, that she got me a invitation to go to China. And she asked me very pointedly, like, Kiki, do you want to go? Here are the dates. Like, you just got to audition and it's looking pretty good. And I did. And the next day she's like, you got the role. You ready to leave in 2 days? And I was like, yeah. And I only thought I was going to be there for like a week. And then she said, like, they actually have a second project. They kind of want to consider you. Can you audition for it? Bang, I did. They're like, yeah. And then the production that was there, loved them to death. They're the reason why I'm still here. Um, pulled me aside and was like, "Hey, we overheard whispers that like you don't really want to leave and that you have the availability to like kind of go the distance here. Like, do you want to potentially like take a year-long contract and see where it goes with us?" And I remember that night signing without hesitation. They're like, "Just think on it." And I remember going back and boom. But to go back to your question though, the sad reality is this past month, the beginning of November, my year-long background check just expired. It's only good for a year because obviously circumstances can change. You can get, actually into trouble within that year or have job changes or address changes, in my opinion, where now the background check is obsolete. So I'd have to go in and re-establish that to go back in. And I think it's heartbreaking because they sent out that email saying they froze all hiring, but I never heard back from them since, and I haven't had the heart to reach out because I'm here right now, and it's kind of tricky. I'm in this, like you were saying, how do you operate that? And I now have an obligation that I can't even do it right now until that contract's up. I'm a man of my word. So I don't want to rock the boat and like request for something, and then they're like, "Oh, actually, like, yeah, we can get you in for March," and I'm like, well, what did I just do? So right now, I'm keeping all my credentials up. I just revalidated my first responder license in the state of California. Revalidated my ambulance license. Um, doing all the things, all the physical fitness tests that I go back for, and bang those out because you still have to keep up certain credentials. But the only thing I need to resubmit on is that background check, and it costed me hundreds of dollars, like hundreds, to get fingerprinted and notarized and getting all your documents printed out and going, let alone all the people I had to call and be like, "Hey, there's this man named Detective X, Y, and Z. I'm not gonna dox him, but yeah, X, Y, and Z is gonna be calling." So I know it's a really long answer, but right now I'm very okay. I'm putting this dream on hiatus, but it's still the dream, and I still train every day. And I got the Houston Marathon coming up in January, and I'm still doing crazy triathlon training, just waiting for the time that I can go back to the States and get on my bike and do the dang thing. So it's still a dream. It's just right now, verticals are the forefront.
Okay. Kind of goes with that question, but not really. How you once said that you were a lacrosse coach.
And so 2 days after our last game, I fly out to China, and they just started this past year in September, and I had to let the superintendent know that I won't be pursuing this year. I did 2 years as the head coach at Santa Monica High, and that was such a blessing. I think a lot of people are very surprised that um, that I do that and I'm able to get away with it. With verticals, I remember they had like spring break, ironically, right when how to dump a hockey star came into my mailbox, and I was like, "This is perfect. This is perfect." They literally have like all the days lined up perfectly. I can do this. I can do this. And likewise, when I was doing the Cursed Alpha, they were still on Christmas break up until like the last bit. So I was like, "Oh, thank you, God. Thank you, God. This is crazy. I'm like so lucky." I think I had to get like help on one day that like we ended up like moving something and it like overlapped, but luckily I have additional coaching staff members that like had my back on it. But it was like all good. The funny thing is when these kids get a hold of a viral TikTok video and they are like, "Oh," and because of my real name's Kyle, they refer to me as Coach Kyle. They're like, "Oh, Coach Kiki," and like the way my neck snapped, being like, "All right, which one of you just called me by my wrong name?" I'm pretty sure that's Coach Kyle to you, or Coach Fragnoli. We can talk about it. But anyone, any takers, or do we want to do some running today until we find out? And I like to think I'm a happy-go-lucky coach. You got to balance the strictness with the fun, and I think I do a really good job of that. They're they're great kids. I think I had a great time with them, and I know some of the biggest core memories the past 2 years have been through them. So, I love the boys, and it's great to see a lot of these guys now off in their second or third year of college, and I've gotten to really see that growth over the years. So, shout out to anyone who knows what I'm talking about. I highly recommend it. It's just hard for vertical guys, or anyone to do it. It's so impressive to see Eric do so many different things, but there's a lot of things you do end up giving up at the end of the day. And I'm just grateful I got 2 good years in while my vertical career was kind of developing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We're going everywhere. I love it. What genre of vertical would you like to do that you haven't done yet?
That's so easy. I touched upon one a little bit, but romantic comedy through and through. The title has changed a couple times. Divorced Housewife to Billionaire. It used to be like 10 days to become a billionaire. It was one of my favorite vertical. Like awesome. It didn't necessarily get the publicity I was hoping for, to be honest. It wasn't really marketed as well as I wished, and likewise. But it was color graded. The sound was great. That was the first one, I swear, that I was like, "Oh, verticals are about to change. Drama Wave is coming to play." Like it was in 2024 too. It wasn't in 2025, and I was like, oh, they just like rose the bar. I mean, they had a lookalike that looked just like Iron Man. Oh my God, Robert Downey Jr. Like he looked identical. There was so many. If people are watching this one, that's one of my like underrated like plugins. Being like, it's not my best, but God, I like respect it. The girl, Carson, she's great. Can break the fourth wall essentially, and so everyone would have to. The director would be like freeze, and like you'd be like mid scene, everyone had to freeze, and she could turn towards the camera, look in the eyes, and be like, "Am I about to kiss this man right now?" Yep.
Oh, Divorce to
And
Sell
then
Beverly.
what's that?
Is it Divorce to Sell Beverly Hills?
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah.
Like, oh my God, again, I'm so proud of that one. It's not my most successful. It really isn't, but I'm proud of it. I loved my character. I liked that I wasn't a D-bag. I liked that it was like it's like how I would describe it is like it's the closest to me being me in a CEO position. My character's pretty like energetic, like very you kind of want to root for him. I'm very down to earth, no over the topness. I like to think for the most part. I like to think that it's the closest thing to seeing me like a Kiki in a vertical without any like restrictions of being like a abuser or having the cold exterior. I very much am more tame, and I loved that. It was great.
With that, what is a vertical that you want to get more attention?
Oh yeah, sorry. So yeah, it was romantic comedy, and then one that I want more attention is, oof, honestly, Revenge Queen's Kickback. I also love that one. It was so cool. The storyline was one of the best I've ever seen, because it was new to me. It was the first time I played a villain as the protagonist, where he's the main guy, but you're actively rooting against him. It's kind of like watching the show You, where he's not a good guy, but somehow you kind of are rooting for him. It's the exact opposite. He's it's like the exact opposite of you. It's like you are rooting against this guy the entire time, but it's based on him. So very cool. A lot of good actresses in that one. I think they really stole the show, and shout out to Jack, who was my co-star in that one. He was great. You could really just see the difference between us two, and it was awesome. So it's got to be that.
Okay. Give a little shout out to my Vertical View crew. My VVC.
All right, VVC. All right, VVC. It is a pleasure to be here with Angel. This is Kiki, and right now it's in her morning, my evening. She's not normally a morning person, so she's doing me a solid, getting the chance to put myself out there to go and talk to you guys, and have the chance to kind of get you in on the mindset of a Kiki. So I appreciate it.
Wow. I was just gonna start talking about him, but you went with the whole shout out. I love it.
Another shout out for her patience. Angel being an angel. You are, you are what you are.
So, if you were a drink, what would you be?
Espresso martini.
You answered that so fast.
I identify as espresso martini. What can I say?
Okay.
Easy peasy.
What's a quote or saying that you like to live by?
God grant me the strength to accept the things I can't change, the strength to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference.
Okay. If you were to give a piece of advice to someone who wants to become an actor or is trying to get into the vertical space, what would you tell them?
I always say, take life hour by hour, minute by minute, second by second. You'll get there.
Okay. Do you have any questions for me?
If you could be an inanimate object, a household object, what object would you be?
Oh man. Such an odd question. Hold on.
You mean awesome question. Thank you.
Yeah, true. I don't know.
I'd be a stapler. I'd be a stapler, for example, because I keep shit
Why
together.
would you be? That's fair. I was gonna say I'll be a light because I can light up any room.
Light up a room. Heck yeah. One more question. If you could eliminate a letter of the alphabet, what letter would you eliminate?
These are questions I've never been asked, so my brain is confuzzled.
Sorry, I'm good at this.
What's a useless letter?
C, because you can't spell Kiki with it.
I don't know. I feel like Z. Well, no, then you wouldn't have pizza.
Oh yeah, I'm not spelling it with a C. Pizza.
Q? X? I don't know. This is such a, what would you eliminate?
See, I said it. Like, it can only be one. It can only be one.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like the ones that I don't use the most are like is Q.
Except that's so unique. You're trying to take out the two unique ones.
Unless I'm like typing out banquet, then I use Q too many times.
Well, to be honest, no vertical actor wants to have a banquet. So
exactly. I'll take the Q so you can't have banquets.
Yeah. We're gonna have a banquet with a G.
I love it. Wow, that was
banquet. Banquet. Everyone gets banged. Like
I love it.
I'm in like the 13th hour. I'm like in my silly mode now.
You know what? I roll with it. I love it. And then my book. My signed book. That I have read but haven't opened further than this because I'm not ruining the book.
I get it. Meanwhile, mine's got like coffee stains and oatmeal on it, and trying to make it look like there's sex, you know?
Yeah.
I'm just like, you're talking to a kid who's asking questions about inanimate objects. He's okay with any of them.
I'm trying to think if I have any other actual questions. This is gonna be so fun to edit.
Okay, I have a question for you, and then we'll wrap it up. This is a personal one. Not you can keep it. It's not that personal. When you have interviews, it's 2 questions. Do you make assumptions on who they're going to be?
It depends on the person. Most of the time I don't. Most of the time I'm like, you have a life outside of, being an actor. And the way I've always looked at it is you're an ordinary person with an extraordinary job. I've looked at it with that for actors, singers, everybody, military members. You're an ordinary person with an extraordinary job. You are Kyle Fragnoli. You are not the actor, always this perfect version of a man for a screen. You have, a separate life, a separate personality.
And then the follow-up question is am I who you thought I was going to be?
Oh, well, are you who I thought you were going to be? Yes and no, if that makes sense. Like, no, because I didn't expect, like, all the laughing and just the chatter. And then yes, because, like, one, I've seen your work and followed you since 20. I followed everybody on my personal profile, like, as soon as I found them. So I can't go off of my review page. But it's like when I find somebody in a vertical that I like their performance, I'm like, they've got something. I'll go follow you on Instagram right away. So like I had a feeling that I knew how you were gonna be. I just didn't expect the laughing and the funness.
The only reason why I asked that is a lot of people are like, I think are surprised because I'm never smiling in my photos more recently. That's been kind of the funny joke. And I think most people who like meet me are like, oh, this kid is not the most serious guy on the block.
I've watched your is it a red flags with ammo pictures?
I think that's closer to who I am for sure. I'm trying.
Can we talk about the scene in your Flare Flow one that just came out? You're like whiny and cryy. And I'm like sitting there and I'm watching this. And I'm like, how did he keep a straight face for this? And the whole reason I watched it, right, or watched it as soon as I did, because I try and watch them all, but there's so many coming out, was I was like, because I was on Flare Flow and I was just scrolling. It's like, what do I want to watch? And I was like, that's Kiki. Click. I was like, what are we doing? Like, because if I can't find something, or if I don't like know for sure what I want to watch or what's next on the list, I'll just kind of go through like the new releases, and if I see a familiar face that I'm like, yeah, I wouldn't mind watching their acting right now, I'll click on it and I'll watch that.
I appreciate you clicking because of me on this one. Yeah, this character was awesome. It was like this character, like the director was like, oh, Kiki, like this is a villain role, but like have fun with it. I don't know if she should have said that.
You were like and everything, and I was like, how did they not break?
Oh, they did. Like my co-stars. I would like. And my phone's about. If my phone dies, it's because I lose yours because my phone dies. But like there was a running joke that like I'd always like turn away, and then someone would say something to me, I'd be like, what are you talking about, bitch? And like everyone like couldn't like I would like do it over and over again, like 8 different times, like in different scenes, be like they like take one step and then it just be like this slow turn with a mouth like, what'd you say, you stupid bitch? And like it was like the catchphrase of like the entire show. What'd you say, you stupid bitch? Woof woof, bark bark, Buckarooski. Like God, shout out to Rachel. Please keep this one in. Shout out to Rachel. We like completely went up to the director being like, hey, this one scene, we kind of like did a rehearsal but her and I like pulled each other on the side, being like, "Should we do what we talked about?" Like we discussed like a whole scene beforehand. So the director thinks we're gonna be like ripping the scene, like how like she blocked it, and she's so cool. Meng is so cool that we're like, oh yeah, we're ready to go. And then like they say action, and we do something completely different than what was originally scripted. Like completely. Like we were just like into the street. We're ahead of schedule. We're gonna get like one take off this, and like I don't know if did you watch it?
Mm-hmm.
It's the scene where her and I like are yelling at each other and like look, and then start like making out. Like that's not like none of those lines are in it. Like so we completely like gutted it. It was supposed to be like they like just kind of like go and come back to like another plan, and then they go their separate ways. Meanwhile, we had it where we were like, "No, let's make this like they're both getting off on each other's toxicity by like calling each other like bad names and like the whole like bark thing like that David's like into secretly dogs complete like throughout the entire show completely like was like put in." And that was not in the script at all. So it's just like David has like a secret like dog kink that like Rachel's doing. And there's so many Easter eggs in that one that like if you put the actual script up next to what we were saying, we really had fun with it.
Because like I said, I'd clicked on it and then I'm sitting there and I'm watching it, and I think I saw a clip, like someone sent a clip or something, and they're like, how did anybody take this seriously? And I think it was that. I'm not 100% sure. I can't remember. And I'm watching it and I was like, okay, cool. Kiki, awesome. And then like you start doing this stuff and I'm like, what? Like, what am I watching right now? Why are you being whiny? I'm so confused.
It was such a like make David like just this guy who's so unstable. And a lot of the fans like were like that was the performance of a lifetime. So yeah, it was definitely different. If you want to see me actually play a villain, go and check out the new one with Tim Stein.
Okay.
Way more real, like way closer to the nitty gritty of it all.
Oh no. There we go.
But it shows that Vertical's gonna be fun too, you know. So my phone data just got spiked, so I'm gonna have to let you go. That's why we're getting glitchy.
Yeah. I appreciate you rescheduling and actually chatting with me.
Are you kidding? This is so much fun. This was so much fun. I can't wait to see what you cook up. And you know, if you ever need anything, just like shoot me a message. I'll be keeping up on my end too. But I'm excited to see this come out. So thank you for giving me the time. Shout out to everyone who's watched. I really appreciate you, Angela. I appreciate you more for giving me this outlet and just kind of getting to have a conversation and not an interview. So cheers. I hope you have a good night. Sweet good morning.
I hope you have a good night.
Thank you. But anyway, take care, and I hope you and your daughter have a great holiday.
Thank you. I hope you have a decent one.
I will. Likewise. Good night. Or goodbye. Yeah.